Can you see my screen?
We are still waiting to come up. Still blank.
Blank, blank. Sekejap.
Hmm. Now okay already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first I read through what I prepared, and then I will open my grant so that I can show what I had written in my grant. Okay. So for today, I will share with you about the thing that I had done for fundamental research grant scheme, and then I can share you about the preparation a bit and tips and also the management. But usually I will just share everything that how to write the FRGS grant. So in preparing the grant, so there are several points that need to uh, open, which is the problem statement, literature review, background, methodology, expected finding and outcome, the budget, and then you go to executive summary, title, and team members. So there are you cannot do directly from title, but you can just roughly write the title. But we need to revise back the title based on what we had written in the other subchapter. So in KBT, there's a lot of grant, but this is the what I highlight for maybe for the we call as a early researcher, maybe like me, which is like maybe within 5 years. So we have the KBT offered several grants, but the FRGS is open to to all the universities and quite easy compared to other like Racer. Maybe they have like budget related budget, and then some budget related to that university, and then that for that budget they can divide with the any other researcher that didn't have any grant yet. But if I just anyone can apply easily, and then the PRGS, somehow you need to have any completed grant, which is 100%, and then you can use that grant as the reference for the PRGS. So if you are a member, maybe for other close grant, maybe like you, although you are not the main critical investigator, if the grant is 100%, you can try to apply for PRGS. Previously, the PRGS can be applied together with FRGS. So like myself, previously I try uh, uh, the my planning is that I apply FRGS first. Next year is PRGS, and then somehow PRGS not most not much researcher will try to apply PRGS. However, there's a KPI for university, especially the government university need to have PRGS application. So somehow the PNI, our innovation research innovation department will try to um uh, maybe try to joke the researcher to please apply this PRGS. But long time ago, if you apply PRGS, you cannot fill up the FRGS form because of you had sent the PRGS. However, for since earlier this year, you can apply both PRGS and FRGS. Although you send for PRGS, you still can apply for PRGS if you are eligible to apply FRGS. Because to have FRGS, you must have a 70 you must have no FRGS, or you have a currently running FRGS but in 75% completion. So if you have 75%, you can apply another FRGS for the next year. If for PRGS, you must have fundamental any FRGS or the internal research grant, but must have 1%. So later I will share some. So for the fundamental research, the aim of FRGS is mostly like with these four content lah. So first is generate new knowledge, theory and concept, and then generates new technology to deal with the unresolved problem, and then leading to advancement of knowledge in the area of human and natural science, also lead to new discovery. So this fundamental research be like more to must be like more no, must be a fundamental science concept. or theory or theory of formulation. You cannot use a technology to get another technology like that. So you must if you feel that you need to use some device or technology, you must declare what is the the fundamental of that particular technology that you required for for your fundamental study to get to be able to run. So that is very strict things about fundamental research grant. So in for the objective of FRGS, so you need to you will the grant will increase the understanding of fundamental principles, and it has no direct or immediate commercial benefits. It means that the FRGS itself is um if the first title that you proposed, although you are accepted, it is not um a compliance for that particular theory to be 100% successful. Like maybe you because this is a proposal, somehow it can be able to maybe the first theory that you give might be a failure. But from that theory, maybe from the failure, actually you discover a new theory, another theory. So and then the second or third theory is must be part of that FIGS also. So like this because the output like you must have several publication. It means that you independently you cannot propose a fake a wrong theory, a fake theory, or any wrong theory like that, right? The one that unsuccessful. So you must present the successful one. So it doesn't mean that the first proposal is the best proposal, but from that proposal actually you come up with a lot of better better theory and formulation. So that include in this FRGS. So fundamental research can be thought of as arising out of curiosity. So since I had discussed with you previously about this problem statement, right? So that kind of curiosity in term of what is the fundamental phenomenon in that particular problem. So you can find the problem in anywhere. Even if you are not even you are not in the science and technology, maybe you are human science. So you will you if you are social science, so maybe you can find some fundament you need to find some fundamental phenomenon in that particular field of yours. So that will be include in you be asked like a curiosity about how to solve it, why is the problem happen. So that will be in your fundamental. So for us for the science and technology is much easier because of there's a lot of phenomenon and it's very straightforward. Yeah, maybe the sun ray energy, the waste, the chemical reactions, and then usually we are most to energy flow. If the direction of energy flow can be changed like that, so it is part of the fundamental theory. Like maybe like me machining, so one of the part is to reduce friction, to reduce force, maybe to reduce temperature. So it is actually part of the energy. So for a long term, this FIGS content might be able to be part of formulation in many commercial products or technology or applied research. So if your theory can if your formulation have some maybe I show why it is become like that. So that technical of or technology that you utilize can be actually sold to to the industry or go to the PRGS research grant. So every year there are more than 5,000 applications. So the whole university, the whole anyone can apply. The polytechnic also, the industry can apply. But somehow, although the things that hard is how to the Department of Innovation whether they have or not. Maybe it's, the numbers of internal panels that eligible to access the grant. That one is the problem. But anyone can apply for the grant, and then we need to maybe ask the KPT how to solve that particular problem. So in there are 5,000 application, and the acceptance rate is only 10%. So it is still based on the budget of that particular year. Although I'm not the one who involved in that. I'm just a researcher, no, the earlier the amateur researcher, but for the information like this, I know, but how, the budget for that year is we don't know. So since there are a lot of research application, so the 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 panel, if the panel is um associate prof, they will get the final panel. I think the final panel for the associate prof will get 10 application to accept one. They will accept one from that 10. If the panel is professor, they will get 30, and then they will need to accept three like that. So the acceptance rate is 10%. After that, if they have more, they still have more budgets. Maybe they will check the best, the maybe the highest mark within of all, the remaining, so they can give another more money to them. They can choose more applicant for this to receive the grant. So these are there's a lot of contents with FRGS. So this is I had list down up to appendix. So from title, detail of research information, basic summary, and then problem statement, research objective, and then methodology, and then they have a budget there. So this is the contact averages. But as I think, or I wrongly list down here. So there's a need to the one that I highlight is mostly the one that being checked by the for this one, the red color is the one that being checked by the panel first before they check other content. So by checking from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so they will roughly maybe accept or not accept your grant. So usually until they just need to check the title. If the title is not fundamental enough, maybe they can reject. But however, for the grant to reach the external panel, it has it has passed in the internal panel first. So so the internal panel itself, themselves is the one who maybe do the assessment and correction, give the correction comment to us, so that this particular grant to reach the fundamental level, or reach a good enough standard. So that one is the important things about the internal, because of maybe sometimes the grant pass the internal, but somehow maybe the internal, because not the internal itself, the internal itself is a virus with for advise people, like advise researchers. So they have their own opinion, their own assessment method. So somehow maybe some of the grant actually maybe already reached fundamental, but be rejected by the internal. But actually for the internal, they actually need to maybe to give marks to the grant. Maybe for the PNI, maybe they have ability to highlight, maybe this is the best grant. So but that one is I just heard, but not there's no canon things about that. But the ability for them, the for a grant to be able to be seen by the external is this is the job by the internal and the PNI. So if in terms of maybe UOW, maybe you need to if the number of person that can be internal is not enough, maybe you need to ask the KPT to suggestion whether you need to appoint other researcher from outside UOW to be the internal panel. So internal panel should be your friend, and they should help you to repay your grant. So if we shouldn't fight with them. And then if there's things that we don't understand or don't know, maybe we need to ask their opinion directly in the comment, whether the grant can be considered, or how to repair, or things that need to change before finalization. Because there's a lot of um, the range of repair is up to March, I think, at the end of March. So we should do the repair a lot. So if the number of repair is a lot, uh, 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 the 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 visibility, maybe the visibility of the grant can be considered as high to the external. So here the 7 things that they will check first, and then you must consider that the title, executive summary, problem statement, objective, methodology must be synchronized with each other. so that there may be the question, maybe the trainer will ask, maybe this not related, is why the point is not inside the some particular point. So and then if somehow you have maybe copy your maybe copy, you just you have friends that set their grant, and then you maybe check, you need to write down for at least for the roughly for the rough draft. Please make sure that the content also will not be similar with other accepted proposal. The not accepted one is no problem, but the accepted one you cannot you cannot have uh, hi- too high or high similarity index with them. Or please be in fact is different grant with them. But somehow maybe some friends in have a grant, had applied the grant previously, but it's failed. And then when the friend shared to you, okay, please do the grant. This is my draft grant, but this is it as failed previously. And then you copy into your my grant, and then you repair some of the content. So, but that one is no problem because it's not accepted yet. If they accepted, it is become strictly not able to be similar. So in general, FRGS is about what you need to serve, and then what you are going to do in the study and your vision and future. So it has maybe for this one, the point is not that clear, but actually you can in the way you write uh, the FRGS, the panel want to see your passion, your interesting, what you want to do, and what you your seriousness, your discipline in writing them. So you cannot just write down and send, and then we hope they understand the grant directly. So it is not definitely it's like you do the publication, and then the reviewer ask us a lot, and then we cannot tell that, oh, you should know, you should understand this one. So it is not, they just a reader, and maybe they have a different field, or less understanding about your particular field. So they have a lot of question and a lot of argument, so you need to answer them nicely or say thank you whatever to them. So they will maybe they will help you for the grant question. So in terms of workflow, this is the one that I list down based on the previous. So you can see that I wrote down the one, two, three. So here one, two, three segment, and then four is objective. Five. Later I will open my grant, so maybe you can see the shape of my grant. And then after that six, go to budget, and then you go to summary, and then you go to title. But you can write the title roughly first, and then you can return back to the title. So at least you have fill up the form and then the maybe rough content, or maybe you copy from your maybe you have a publication, you copy your publication in your grant, and then to make sure that it is fill up, so it is easy for you to edit it with later. So as as you can see the numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to follow the actually the rule that's been uh, 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 done in the publication, especially thesis. Example, the problem statement is to how the complete of how complete the problem statement, how complete the hypothesis, and then the review. So this 1, 2, 3 things is very important for you to have beforehand, and then it definitely is very strict because of uh, the 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 novelty, the 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 new idea, maybe the new way of uh, solving some problem. So you can combine with other research idea, and then to solve this particular research idea. So it has a very strong content there, strong point for you to able to show that the grant is very important. So up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you have since you need to this 4 point, and then you come up with objective. And with this objective, you will come out the methodology, expected result, and the budget. And then you come back to the executive summary, and then you rewrite the whole 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5 to 6 with 300 words. So very hard. It's quite hard to it's really hard to write a very strong executive summary. So you need to maybe because of you had read a lot for your problem statement, hypothesis, and review. Maybe you have a particular strong terms, strong statement that you can include in the essay summary. So there's a very self must have the way must show that you are very interested to for this particular project. So in terms of problem statement, I make a small group here. Problem statement, hypothesis, research objective, and literature review. So this you can start anywhere from literature review, problem statement, hypothesis, or problem statement, hypothesis, literature review. So these four point need to have like a loop there. If you have problem, you need to return back. So you need to have these four particular group things very strong in your grant. So the problem statement itself must have the fundamental phenomenon. You when you see a problem, you need to devise to elucidate. I think to separate things that inside. Maybe the mechanism you must to have the mechanism or the factor or the the uh, the the phenomenon, the theory inside. So you need to have that particular curious fundamental understanding or idea. So you need so after that you need to stop maybe analyze whether that the phenomenon is very intrigued or something. So you need to have another fundamental method to analyze it or you need to prove it or you need to go to more deeper understanding. So from there, when you build you have the problem assignment hypothesis up to its objective, you still need to have a fundamental way to do the objective. You cannot to apply. You cannot say you to utilize something. You need to have like very fundamentally step for the objective. Like mine, I suggest this particular word in 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 step. Firstly, you need to characterize and elucidate, maybe evaluate. So maybe you find this particular nice objective word so that you can put for the for your grant objective. So I here characterize because I say that it is a general view. Elucidate means that I need to analyze for to come up with a certain reason or maybe proven, and then I will need to evaluate for another fundamental situation. So that this is the list. So in terms of a number objective, they said that minima is two, but I don't think they will accept two. So you need to have three at least. To have four is it can be considered as a lot. At least three is the best compared to two and four. So from these three, you need to divide the works into several. For this particular objective, one objective will be one phase in your methodology, but that methodology have a step by step research work that will in the end conclude that particular sub objective. So then after that you need to find literature review based on these three, or maybe you find literature review first and then you come up with this. So this group of we call this actually research background will be very important, and then from there you will come up with the summary roughly still because there's a research work there after that. So from this for the step of research work. So the step of research work, so you will take the research objective here and then go to create the methodology, expected result and budget. So here the research objective, the methodology must have a similar number of phases uh, based on your research objective. I think this is similar to do you do your PhD or PhD or master, anything but things like thesis by research. So you know that they have a phase based on your number of objectives. So a lot of there's a number of like you have three objectives, means that you have three phases. From the phases, you need to list in detail the work that you are going to do. So from there, you need to classify uh, the person that you will involve with the person that will involve with your faces the faces of methodology, that one will be inside your member. But in terms of member, the FRGS only allow five members, including you. So you need to have another four, maybe one or two from your institution, and another two must be outside of your institution. So at least one of the five members must have associate prof level. So you if your team consists of non associate prof, maybe you need to choose one of associate prof or professor. So you need to have them in your member. So also you can have one from your institution or three from outside, it's no problem also. But the total number is only five. So it is very it is hard for us to put a lot of members there. So I'm very strict. So from methodology, what the thing that you don't know that uh, from the methodology, the content of methodology itself is actually your future at PRGS content. So you will know that if you when you build your methodology, some of the method in the methodology or technology and methodology, because of in the fundamental you cannot include application of that technology, or the technology is not available yet. So in the FRGS grant, you create a technology to a system or a device to solve your problem, to prove your problem, or to prove your hypothesis. So that particular technology actually can be utilized for your PRGS. So some like you build a machine that can supply a certain point, a certain size of your sample in for the sake of your study. However, is successful if the thing successful, so the device or method successful, actually that technology of yours, the one that you fabricate or design, is actually a future technology for PRGS. So from there, you will actually I suggest we build it nicely, completely, so that it is as a useful value for future. And then the expected result is actually included in the expected result that in the if I just the expected result, how to write the expected result. However, in the methodology itself, you need to have a table that have the expected result. Yeah, I open the I can. Yeah, I share my screen. Um, I open my my grant. So the one that I have a role leader here is actually my grant. And then I open here. So as I said previously, we have a title, the title, and then the domain here is the information. So this it can be included later, including the duration. But the numbers of the members is actually maximum four of your friends or members, including you is five. So this project is the one include in your research profile later. It must be included in your migrant profile first, and then it will automatically include this application grant automatically. So here, as you can see that I said previously, they have from a statement, hypothesis, research question, essential review, and then it come up to the objective here. So this is actually one step. So you can see here, the summary is will be done later. So at least the problem statement, from here I write down a simple one, but actually you need to include a very concise and very strong problem segment that relate to your particular study. So there's a two, the divide problem segment and hypothesis. When you write in the thesis, there's no division of problem segment and hypothesis, right? So however, in the migrant, you need to divide into two so that you can show that the first all the problem and the second one is only the hypothesis that you are going to use for the study. So and then the research question is up to different based on the problem statement hypothesis. So the criteria you is better you refer you relate your review with your hypothesis so that you actually have a very strong relation with your study. So to say that it is long is not that long. I think you can find the best review in any of the review paper that relate to your study. So and then you can do the rewrite the content the replacement. So you can get the strong hypothesis there. However, in terms of reference, you need to have up to 3 or 2 years prior. In this grant, I write at the early of the one the the one that very late one is 2020, and then now 2022, so only 2 years. Okay, so there's relevant government policy. You need to search any policy related to your study. Like me, more to the sustainable development. We have National Policy of Environmental 2002 and 2001 Energy Commission Act. So most of the related study that go to sustainable can highlight this can use this relevant government as their relevant government policy to better put rather than not put nothing. So you can put like if you related to social science, or maybe you can put any government policy related to family something. Um, so and then okay, so in term of objective, as I said that I characterize elucidate and evaluate. So you can put this is related to the content of your methodology. So it is this also the objective must be updated based on if you have a change in methodology. So you need to change a little bit about in your objective. So you need to ensure it is synchronized. So here example of my methodology I write down. So in terms of step, maybe it's not easy for us to include very complete step like we do in the actual experiments. It's impossible because of the study might be very new, and then you don't have the actual device or process there. So at least you can have that you can list down maybe the formulation or the combination or the way you need to think you need to find first like this. I said that the formulation will be obtained based on the step is to get the formulation, and then measure the viscous meter. So this is one of the process. And then here I come up with the solution formulation variation. So the way I mix it and then measure. So you put this is actually expected result that you need to put directly into the methodology. So in the grant expected result is different, but the one that your experiment expected result you need to include in the methodology directly in term using a figure or list down. But I think figure is better. So here actually you want to see, although it is not yet been done, so you can get the figures from literature, so you can utilize that figures for your purpose to let the examiner understand what you are going to do. So for me, like now, I'm trying to do the viscosity measurement for the mixture of flour and oil and water. So one of the things that I want to show them that I need to measure this particular particle. So here is related to the study. So here, each step I put phases, phase one, and then the phase two is actually based on the study, and then I put members at the end of each phase, and then the target years, the target duration, so you can put very complete uh, study complete content in your methodology, so that the panel will understand what you're going to do and how long it takes. So here I show the example of the test I will do. So the test figure is taken from the reference, so you can put it here. So it's not problem for that, because this is the way you want to show what you are going to do. You can draw by yourself also, no problem. And then you need to state if you have a need to travel, you need to put inside your methodology. So the whole process that you are going to do in your study, you need to put the methodology. So despite you are not including the way you go to conference or not, but the way you need to take the data, you need methodology. So this actually the methodology uh, will um, related to the budget you are going to apply at the end of the grant. So the better your methodology, so the better the higher the higher the higher the higher budget that you can apply from the for this migrant. So here I show that I going to do a lot of work. So you can it is logical that you if you apply very high, very expensive, very high cost. So you must show the how logic it is to the panel. So that for the budget, I suggest for what I had in my experience, if you are using no hardware, at least you need to apply up to 60,000. You can apply more, but just to increase the visibility, to increase the possibility of accepting you're going to be accepted. So, but at least you have a better panel that can have discussion with you in the during the correction phase. So for the 2 years FRGS, up to 90,000 you can apply. Although some of my friends apply more than 100,000, but that one have a particular hardware that you are going to utilize for your study. Like you they some of them put um the asset application such as need this mist machine example, and then laser machine. Although I'm not suggesting you have to apply that, you can try, and then you hope the assessor, the internal panels help you encourage you support you in terms of buying that particular device, so you can apply in your grant. So if not, it's better for you to make it fundamental and find the easier and the cheaper methods to solve your problem. Maybe measurement tool. Maybe you need to maybe just rent using the service grant letter. The service the vote to 7, maybe to 9 for service, so you can use that service to pay the rent you when you are using device at the other institution. So for the PhD, I suggest up to 130,000 or 135. So although the 90,000 there, the half of it is actually the budget for allowance for your master or PhD student. So if 2 years, you can only take master. For you, if you want to take PhD, you need to apply the 3 years type of 3 years type of FRGS. So I'm not sure if I suggest if this is your first time to apply FRGS, it's better for you to apply 2 years one. If you are this is the second time you apply for FRGS, I suggest you apply for the 3 year FRGS. So that one is because of maybe the trust of by the panels whether you can complete or you can do the study completely. Uh, for that, the grant can be accepted by the external. So in terms of title, so after we complete these two problem step, this research background and research work, and then you come to title. So title is very very important in FRGS. It's very hard to make it fundamental, but you need to have a lot of idea or discussion how to make it fundamental. So maybe you have a like maybe some utilization inside, but you need to how to make to find the correct fundamental terms for that particular study. For example, the FIGS title must sound fundamental and use fundamental terms, and then indicate types of study. So from the panel will understand what type of study I'm going to do by from your title, and then there's some problem that so the panel can the panel can understand. So it must be concise, short, and descriptive, and then very it must be intelligent, intelligible. So means that with other person that is not in your field, if still can say that this the title is okay in term of intelligence. So so it is accepted for your grant. So I suggest it is in within 13 words. So but you can be more than 13 words, no problem. So 13 words usually the balance numbers of words for a particular title in research. Here some of example that within my grant, my friend grant that I'm members of it. There's the point the fundamental level of
Sorry, sorry, Dr. Shahir, we cannot hear you.
okay. Wait, I turn off camera. Okay. Okay. I repeat back. This is the apa the needs of the example of fundamental content, fundamental title must be fundamental. So this is the example of the how fundamental is the title that I had explained before. But still, you need to maybe the panels will help you in gaining the in gaining to reach the fundamental level required for the FRGS. So here example is mechanism. Mechanism is the fundamental term, and then impinging is actually phenomenon. So it's and then surface. So the impinging and mechanism is actually both fundamental phenomenon, and then there's no application here uh, unless it's oil. Oil is still applied oil, so there's no way. There's no other much more fundamental than oil. So this is how the fundamental is. So here, okay, behavior is fundamental, carbomechanical, and then geometry, fundamental. So uneven surface, in precisely this is just a highlight, but actually it's not that fundamental enough. But the uneven surface, so maybe is some fundamental. So actually, rather than uneven, maybe it's variety surface. But this one is maybe like you to get the grant. So here, formulation is fundamental term, and then ionic liquid, ionic modified. So this one is actually fundamental. So something fundamental change the 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 properties of that method of that sample or product, and then performance also fundamental. Performance doesn't sound fundamental enough, but performance maybe this is systems. So here this one is uh when actually the validation, but it sounds like the using MQI itself actually is as actually it's not that fundamental, but you need to maybe required the panel to have suggestion whether it is can be fundamental or not. But Celeste here, although it's maybe is fundamental unless there's some terms like difficult to cut material. That one is fundamental. But Celeste is actually like directly to apply. So maybe we still need a suggestion from the panel. So lubrication behavior fundamental. Lubrication is fundamental because of this lubrication. And then dynamically contacted surfaces, maybe this one is fundamental, maybe wrong because of no we cannot remove cannot pecah lagi more from there. And then metal removal process some process actually is not good for process, but maybe metal removal is okay, but process maybe some process is okay, maybe like dia maybe there's some process itself is not fundamental, but maybe some particular position to this process is become fundamental. So here this one is quite okay, microstructure evolution, so this one is fundamental. And then silicon base, aluminum silicon base, this is actually fundamental because of alloy, material properties. And then ultrasonic surface blasting. So maybe there are some particular device that you are going to do for your experiment later in your FRGS grant, but however, you cannot, I'm not suggested for you to put that particular device in the title. So you should put the fundamental reason of you using that device that you are going to use for the experiment. That one is in the title. So the title itself, there's no, it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have any application applied or prototype things at devices for that title. Yeah, example, okay, okay, frontier, okay, this is just a support. So elucidation, usually elucidation you put already means somehow you want to show that it is actually fundamental study. So shear thickening, okay, it is a fundamental. However, high cornstarch here, maybe the cornstarch is too specific to application. If you put starch is actually fundamental. So that one is you need to group it into the fundamental reason for your application. So aluminum oxide nano additive, maybe this one is maybe the additive means something that you change chemically. It is fundamental. Uh, so lubricity itself is a fundamental term. So that's one actually quite critical when you want to develop a title here. So whether the term is actually fundamental or not, you just still need to for it is easy for you to just remove everything that no fundamental, because as you see as you read the title sounds like application. So you remove the application part, you change the application into fundamental terms, and then you recheck again whether the other point or terms inside your title is considered as non-fundamental. So here example, if you fundamentally the non the title, maybe you can write the title roughly, a specific sounds, and then you need to do the fundamental process. You need to find how to make it fundamental. So here some example I take from other researcher. So here fire resistant model for building cladding. So you can see that it sounds like fundamental, but it's not actually fundamental enough because of this cladding is still maybe like application. So model, although model sounds like fundamental, but you need to make it more fundamental and find the specific why the reason of using a fire do the fire resistant. Example here, the heat transmission model of two solid interface. So actually this is the one that you are going to study. It's the same things, but the one is the fundamental. So tsunami generated hydrodynamic load prediction model for onshore structure. So actually, although the sounds actually like fundamental, but you need to fundamentally more. So maybe find that high speed generated hydrodynamic load prediction. still have harmonic load prediction. However, tsunami means maybe actually you want to go to the high speed generation or ultrasonic, something like that. So for onshore structure, although is general and fundamental, sounds like fundamental because of the structure is onshore. However, if you can make it fundamental like solid body immerse in fluid, maybe that one is much more fundamental lah. And then the consistency self modeling profile reinforced concrete. So when you have like this profile, something like very specific and established name, the device that you are using, something, so that one you still need to find the fundamental of the application. This doesn't mean that you cannot use it, but to show that you maybe need to uh, find the fundamental more fundamental things from that particular device or method, you still need to uh, fundamentally it more. So this is the way how to do it. Example here, possessive stress strain modeling of profile, first concrete column, center with liquidized palm oil fuel ash profile. So since they have profile here, means that something that established. So you need to remove that uh, established name in your grant names, in your grant title. So you can see that here at the lower part, constitutive stress modeling still have constitutive modeling. However, the profile is changed to structured sentence with structured sentence because of reinforced here. The reinforced words mean that structured sentence, and then liquidized palm oil fuel based edge binder. So maybe there's edge binder here, but you need to just remove the established name, and then you put it back into your title. So actually, although the method is already there, maybe you just utilize it later in your study. However, in term of title, the front like example, it means that the front page of your proposal, the one that being read by the panel, it must be really totally fundamental. So you have a creativity here to make it strong. So for the essay summary, since that previously you have complete the all the content, especially the problem statement, hypothesis, and then uh, the the objective, and uh, some of the step in the methodology. So now you are going to complete the essay summary, and then the summary is, as I said that at the previous level, because the panel will read title and then directly to executive summary. So you need to have a strong executive summary so that the panel will accept your grant. So here you must have no spell and grammar mistake. At least all the content in the grant cannot have spell and grammar mistake. And then there's no citation at first because this is directly related to your the one that you had finished. So you have complete you already complete the literature review, right? So when you put into the summary, you should have a citation and reference there. You need to compact everything that include in your other subchapter into this summary. So description must self-explain. So it must have a very uh, complete content here. So however, you must remember that every summary has only 300 words. So it's much harder. It's really hard to complete to finish have a very strong, but you still need to try to make it strong. So here there's some of the this is the five technique the content that must have in the essay summary. They must have problem statement, hypothesis, research methodology, the research methodology and objective might related because of the number of phases, and then the future hope. I just put future hope there. So I show myself example that written by me. Here maybe either the strong or not strong. Then you can have later you can have your own uh, way of writing. So here example. So the red one is the problem statement. So I put the problem statement back into this position, and then secondly I put the some content of the hypothesis here, and then I put the objective here. At least you put the title here, and then okay, in the study the unit one, this one is much the some of the explanation of the methodology are going to do in this particular numbers of words. And then uh, in the end, you must have this one, the knowledge computation, which significantly enhance your hope for the future when your study can be successful. So this is just example that I put here. So maybe you have make much more stronger way in writing executive summary, but this is the sub content must have in your the summary. So it has 300 words. You you cannot write more than 300 words because of the you can automatic unable to be or maybe equal minus. So you need to remove some of the words to make it. So actually, to write less is impossible. To write more is accidental. It's easy because you are we read a lot. We find a lot of reference. So maybe when you come up to a story, you write a lot of very like more than like 300 more than 500 600, but you need to copy it back to copy it to com to make it a very limited to only 300 words, so that you the summary can be accepted. So here how this is one another strategy that you need to know how you can make how you can explain everything in 300 words. So this is really hard, and then you need to have a lot of time to set it back. So and then methodology. Okay, so as I said previously, the methodology has phases phase based on the object of your objective. And then each of phase must have the schematic diagram and expected result. So the schematic diagram first and the expected result. And then the material and sample properties table. And then table, what kind of information get extracted from your properties for the expected condition. Maybe you have we call as fixed parameter and then manipulated parameter so that you can get the reaction parameter. So that one will be included in your methodology. And then at the end of each phase, you must show that where you are going to do the process, the steps. So like example, the experiment, and then you need to include what is the expected result and table you are going to get from the methodology from from the step. So if you have this, so it show that your methodology is complete enough because you some of us just stop at the figure only, or maybe at least two or three, but we forget to write four or five or the number one also. So at least you must have this 5 points so you can. So here, when you put a lot of material and sample property table, so it shows that it is possible for you to get you to request more budget in your experiment. So however, if you because some you need to you have suggested budget like 20,000 to be applied for your FRGS. However, you want to justify why you applied for for example from there around 32,000 must be your material. You must justify why you want to apply for 30,000 budget for your material. So this need to be verified in your methodology. So as the expected result, this is expected result in the form. Although in the methodology also you need to include the expected result also. That one is the experimental expected result, but this one is actually the grant expected result. So you need to clarify novel theories. You put your novel theories there, and then impact statement for the quintuple helix, and then the research publication. So this is the normal one WS. Now, currently, the FIGS will ask you to have one ISI index, and then do not go more than that two ISI is very hard. So at least you must have one ISI and then two Scopus index. So if you get this particular grant, So at first you must maybe some of us submit result of the project to the index proceedings, Scopus index proceedings. So it still can count as Scopus. However, for ISI, to find the ISI index proceedings is impossible. So it's hard. So it's better for you to submit a submission paper to the ISI publication. So you can complete the requirement, the KPI. So the specific potentials and then the number of PhD. So this is how you suggest in the grant. So here I open some of mine. This one, um, for the sake of for Gantt chart, I forget that I will return back. So for the expected results here, I have some theory that I suggest for this particular project, and then the impact statement. So the impact statement, if you want to use this same impact statement, it's no problem because it's just an impact statement. Or you rewrite back, so you must know that it must follow the multiple helix, and then it has like maybe at least have five content there inside your impact statement. And then here, example, I show the ISI to Scopus needs preparation in external. So here they say, okay, I choose like this. This is for specifically for the machining process. So here to sustainable, because you must put the Q1 there. And then this is either composite or not. That's entered to us. But you still need to put the higher one. But the higher one is better in your publication expectation. So here such application, I show any some of the application might possible from the study. And then the number of student, okay, I put some of the number expected PhD because I applied for 3 years. If you are for 2 years, you will put one number of my student. So that's the suggested that KPI. But um, if you have master, if you grant is applied for master student, but you pay for PhD is no problem. However, if you pay for PhD but you pay master student is a problem. So you should beware with whom you want to offer the money. So okay, so return to back to the a little bit to for the Gantt chart. Okay, so the flow chart itself is normal that you whenever you do research you must have your flow chart, and then your flow chart must be which must have loop as I said previously for the thesis. So the one is following the rule of thesis, and then it must have words related to your methodology, so it's no problem. However, in term of Gantt chart, so you need to have at least in for the Gantt chart, if you are doing for a 2 years FRGS, you must have 4 milestones. If you are doing 3 years FRGS, you have 6 milestones. However, for the step, maximum you can have a step is 9 steps. Although you have 4 milestones, you can have 6 steps. But you cannot have more than 9 steps, like 12 steps. Instead like somehow it's not allowable for for your study. So somehow in your MP the panel usually will not allow you to have more than 9. So they ask you to compact your works into 9 activity only. So you can put here. So as the as the as about the conference and finalization, you shouldn't put in in your activity. It's already embedded into that sub activity, but you shouldn't say that I will go whatever is going we will submit paper. No, it's not. It shouldn't be in your activity. It's already embedded in the in any activity there. So you should only put the activity of your methodology here in your activity list. So as I said previously in previous study, the Gantt activity shouldn't be as a flow chart. So you need to have a point where you overlap with each other. So it shouldn't be end of this work and then you start a new work. No, you should put overlapping there as a buffer. If you complete it fast, you start the next work. If you not, a loop, listen back to the actual, you still have the targeted range of duration. So this you need to have a overlapping of process of an of activity, and then you need to divide this into six six uh, six milestone that have uh, similar duration. If you 2 years, so 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, up to 4 times. If you 3 years, 6 months, 6 months, until 6 times. So that one is will be required for the milestone. So you need to at least do the in the end a completion of, and then you need to put what is you're going to do, you're going to get from that particular activity. So that's a milestone. So next is the budget. So this is suggested budget that I experienced previously. So although the total is 90,000 and 25,000 for FHGS. So some of there's a friend of mine that get 135,000 for FHGS. So mine is 131, so that's 3,000. And then but for the for the even for the 2 years master, some of my friend that can get like more than 100, but I'm not suggest to get apply for what more than 100 because it's hard to explain in your budget, in your methodology. But if you really require, so you must have a very strong point to put in your methodology why you need to have more to buy the assets. If no assets, usually it's hard for you to go more than 90,000. But if you have asset, you can that automatically more than 100,000, because some of the asset you need to apply maybe like more than 20,000. That one is required for you to apply in your grant. So others, you need to know that okay, from the budget, uh, 48,000 for FID Suye is already the allowance vote. While the 3 years PhD 90,000 is the allowance vote. So you can say that if you 135,000, from there is already 90,000. You know that 45,000 is other things, other components. So here as I show here, for vote 2700, vote is empty supply. Uh, Up to 35,000, because it's still hard to go more than 40,000 just for material, because you need to declare everything in your methodology. So it's better if you have, maybe if your methodology is not require more less require less cost for material supply. So the other value of cost you will put in other word, like the word. This one is service. Uh, if you example, if you have like 21,000, so you should go more at the service and traveling. So you should reach 135,000, example 190,000, but it's hard for you to put a lot in your empty supply. So if you can only put like example 20,000 only, so the 15,000 must be dispersed into other vote to one and to nine. So you give like 12,000 for the traveling, maybe 12,000 for the service. So it's no problem, because the more budget for your traveling and services, you can go a lot outside. You can do um site visit, you can go conference outside of the Malaysia. So you can use the budget from FRGS, not limited to FRGS 2 years or 3 years. So this is the way you put you do the budget estimation. So at the end part, there's some subwork that previously not available in 2009 and before the FIGES. So this is the new FIGES have a better search and then collaborators in this assessment. I will show you some. So here there's a pattern search, research collaborator, and this assessment. This is the latest FIGES. So there for the pattern search and collaborator, okay, I train one by one. So the pattern search, there's a pattern if you have a migrant if new application. Actually, you can start now to do the FRGS draft. Later, you can include it in the others. You can if the FRGS will start to offer maybe earlier next year, like maybe start from December, maybe in the end of December or early January. So here I want to show some of the add-on info. So here there has a simple pattern search report. So it gives you a PDF version of that report, and you need to have the process of to search in the lens.org. So you will need to search your keyword of your study here, and then this keyword will require to be changed for your migrant. For example, here I have this keyword sustainable machining, biomedical and construct. There's no limitation of whether you want to go 3 or 4 or 5, but minima is 3. So you need to search the best keyword for this, and then it will if the explanation is not good, means that there's if you put open so here when you open the favorite pattern search of lens, it suggests you to search again .org. And then you need to put your keyword here, and then your keyword will be like you need to change if the content is not good. Here has the number pattern publish show and upward trend, means that if we upward means that the increase interest, so you must have the upward trend. So here if you yes, this is yes, and then this is no. This is our number of shown a downward trend. So you should get this one is yes. This one is must be no. So it means that you need to find the best keyword that show this upward trend, and then you put the summary mark there because of the upward trend. Here you must say no. If not, it's hard for you to explain. Although this one doesn't have any like maybe they either the panel read or not. I'm not sure, but we have a strategy in uh give to show that study is good or not. So you need to have this the way to put here. Here example upward trend, you must have an upward trend with your keyword. If your keyword doesn't show the upward trend, you need to change your keyword, and then until you get the upward trend. So this one is just a strategy there, because you want to show some interest by the others. So maybe you have a much more future and modern ideas for this one. So you have the reason here. So here's also science. Okay, so science you can have the question, and then here there's another four. So here they say the collaborators. So you from there they have like numbers of collaborators, and then some the collaborators itself is just you want yes, you list of collaborators, and then it's also yes. Because you must either you show that you have competition or not. So here at least you have yes. You must list of the competition, but you must show that no one from Southeast Asia. So to show that your work at least can sell in Southeast Asia, because that's the strategy. And then prevent, does the pattern search yet similar pattern that would prevent? So you must have no similar pattern, and then you must have a no also similar pattern in Malaysia. So this one the way uh you need to have in your simplified pattern search, and then you save as PDF here, and then you will upload in your form, and then you can say you can open the My Grant. You need to write down the comment for it on your simplified pattern search. Here example of my pattern search writing, and then here I show the example. So you must write down like this, bring keyword off and bring your keyword, and then you must show the number of pattern granted, then memorification. This is example, and then you must uh, uh, share the link here also, and then you need to write this. However, using the keyword in Malaysia, in Singapore there's no pattern, and then the result shows the interest in. Okay, this is the one who collaborators, and then it should be better outside of ASEAN, Southeast Asian country. So at least if your collaborators is from Europe, is okay. And then this okay, and what? Uh, you must show some of the difference between your pattern and their pattern, because of you search by keyword, and then the keyword based on maybe publication or the IP or the um, properties like that. So maybe it has a different there. So you need to highlight the different. So here I write my different. And then in order to implement implementation of national policy, you also need to do some comment related to your product, the country. Then you can paste into the different. And then secondly, you need to have risk collaborator in the country or outside is no problem. At least you must have the LOI, the letter of intent. So you must get letter of intent from them. I mean, you do the letter of intent, and then they sign letter of intent. So and then in the letter of intent, you must write the title of your project, and what the maybe you have the specific content of your LOI, and then maybe your friend or your partners, your industry partners will do the signature. At least the engine or the head of departments also know you have the intent. It's not the MOU. MOU is okay, but I think intent is better because it's a very specific niche area of research. So and then you need to write down what is the related of uh, the things that related to that company, and then to work what you, how your work can as a company. For example, that one is will be written in a comment. And then the next one is the risk assessment. So here you need to have, although some of our friend doesn't dislike to write it down, the risk assessment. At least you must have the way to assessment risk. Okay, this is example of my risk assessment. The technical, timing and budget. It's a technical, timing and budget. So if you can see this, my you have this, you refer to this later, or you can ask me. I can share this one template. So there's some keyword here I put, and then the probability score. So there's no limitation what is the meaning of the probability score, but you just put it the possibility for it to happen, and then the impact factor, the impact for that particular, if that that the thing happened, and then is it related to does it have a risk in your research? So you can have this kind, and then you put the calculation, and then you say that okay, the number two is the highest score, which means that I able the calculation. So in the end, you show that the risk level is low. I think in my application I said that or there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so at least you can say it low, it's no problem. Here I put some of this. I do say this statement, and then I put the high score and then the low risk. The second one is timing, and then I put what is the problem for timing, and then what is the effect, and then the probability. and then the 3 is for 5. So it's actually low risk because of the risk is based on if 5 is maybe higher. If low than 5, maybe 5 is the middle one. This 8 to 9 is the high considered as high risk. But here I state that it's 3.5 is middle risk. So actually this is the way there's a need to do the risk assessment, but the risk assessment rubric is depend on you how you want to show the risk assessment. So you can do in term of percentage or social problem. So you still need to show that what is the list of the risk happen. From this case, I do during the COVID-19 era. So is the COVID-19 is one of the reason here. Example budget maybe currently the currency of US maybe higher. So that one will be one of the risk for example. And then there will be the war happen somewhere in other country. So it will jeopardize your study. So you need to read the risk here. So and then after that you need to put the summary of that study. So here I divide for the example, although the technical timing budget is in the assessment form, but in the summary you need to write this for weak strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So you need to summarize the strength of your study, weakness of study, and then the opportunity you can get, and then threat. Example here, but you can also follow this statement. I think there's no much change of the statement here. This use as template also. So the check of the currency. So I think everyone will explain the same problem. And then okay here I check related to the text to the attachment of the this assessment. I think it's already finished for one. Okay. So here I tick do the tick and then you must upload everything here. For the budget, each time you put the budget for the research and material supplies, you must have the quotation. You must get the quotation for the supplier and then you put it within 45 days, I think. The like example when if you expected maybe the grant will accept in March example, so maybe you can get July. So with your submission date and your quotation is still within the time period, so 55 days. So I do 10 ticks and then upload everything. So here I say that I have an ongoing and then no suitable river body, which means that maybe some of the study need bio macam like related to the biological sample. So you need to have approval from somebody. So the ethic committee said you need to include the approval in your appendix. Okay, so some of the hidden tips, I think, hidden tips for FRGS. If you are, if we have established way to get the FRGS for the institution, maybe, so you must have a strategy whether you want to get more FRGS later in the future. So since the FRGS and PRGS may be related, after you have FRGS, maybe you should try to get PRGS, or you have a FRGS, and then usually you can the year example, if you get FRGS in 2000, example, next year is 2023. So if you get FRGS in 2023, so the next closest date you will get the FRGS is 2025. So it is possible to get 65% uh, up to the 2024 because of the numbers of maybe the value of grant you get, unless you disperse the money to maybe to other colleagues or members in your IT members, because there is specific to your institution. So you need to maybe some friend have a master student and another friend have master student. So you the education for master student can get the 75% next year. So because like this year you applied 2022 in January, you submit the final submission is then you get in this example, you have another 8 months to get 75% for the next year. So it's still impossible to get that one. So but you can try like that. So the fastest you will get is 2025 if you are the one who do membership lah. FRGS grant. Then usually you have one so you can do the step first you get FRGS, the next FPRGS, then you next year you apply. Quite fun because the time you the capital grant is actually to compared to other grant like in my time when I start my year as a researcher, so it's hard to find other grant compared to FRGS and PRGS. So you can submit every year, then they have budget to it just you need to have a complete grant to send. But the other grant like mostly you must have a industrial relationship. So there's a lot of things, there are a lot of particular content that we don't have for the young researcher. So you must have a member from vice institution, and then it must be balanced, and then it must have one of them must have associate prof minimal, and then if you have the panels, usually you must know that the panels for this grant uh, is from other institution also, and then is as a prof and professor. So if you feel that some of them is very hard one, so maybe you put them as member. So they will not read your grant to be independent. So other one will other assist prof other panels will be other assist prof and professor will be your panel. So this one is a trick though. So I think it's not happening, but just the strategy for you for not being being judged by the harder one. So please be generous and helpful with others. So should some of so you when maybe some of friend you get the grant, maybe you should suggest that you share with some of the other friends also, so you can complete the KPI faster, and then you can apply the new one later. Okay, thanks. Any question? Thank you. For three word is 300 word is for executive summary.
Yeah,
Other
okay,
content?
got it. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. So you can write a lot at other subchapters, sub-contents, but come back to the summary sheet, only 300 words. So you really need to find what is the words that you need to put in the executive summary. Yes, sir. Okay, the the FRGS, if you like to apply for FRGS, I think you need to be prepared, and because maybe if now it's already November, and then the application will start from early January. So I think if since the content maybe to get the very accurate content for your FRGS is quite hard, so it's better for you to draft currently lah. So somehow maybe the institution UOW maybe needs panels from the associate prof or professor from other universities. So maybe we can start for researcher need to have to find them first, and then ask their permission to be your internal examiner for this grant, and then maybe the later the research and innovation department of UOW can help to the maybe appointment letter or something. discuss with them. So to make the last minute a very hard. Previously, we have 5 friends from other university, so they want to do it last minute. So it is hard for you to ask the panels to do the assessment last minute because they will not do it. So you like lost the chance submit to finalize it and to everything. Because if everyone can have the chance, so why not we do it properly so that we can get the money. So any question from members? Or later you can like voice type me. You know?
If there is no question, I think that's the end of the session.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Shahid, for your time
All right.
to
Okay, thank you.
to share your knowledge on this. I think I hope that will having you in future for the next topics. Is that
Okay.
okay with you?
You can try me. Maybe I hope I can prepare some. Okay.
Okay. Okay, by the way, thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so much on behalf of you all working with you. So I think that's at the end of today, and see you in the next training. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaji. Love you, friends. And stay contact me later.